AITA for telling my BIL to leave after he found out my mom cuts vegetables for me. I, 30M, was born with a bone missing in my arm. As a result, I only have one digit. If that wasn't enough, it was in a fixed position with my digit up by my shoulder and the ligament and tendons didn't really develop, so I can't straighten my arm. My parents were great at making sure I would be independent and able to live by myself. Some things I physically can't do, like tie shoelaces. For the most part, one can cut anything by myself, but I struggle with doing fine dices. Every other month or so, my mom will finally cut some veggies for me, usually onion, celery, and carrots, so that I can freeze them. I asked her to do this when I lived on my own for the first time because I was fed up of sending onions flying all over my kitchen if I used a knife or it turning to mush if I used the food processor. When my girlfriend, 28F, started dating, she told me that she couldn't cook but also didn't have an interest in learning to cook. I said this was fine because I like to cook, so when she moved in I became the de facto cook. She has never expressed a problem with my mom cutting vegetables for me. She actually preferred it, as she has said she couldn't cut them finely for me. Her brother, 35M, is currently staying with us and has been for the last 4 weeks since his ex threw him out because of how lazy he is. He doesn't have a job. I don't think he has for the 3 years I've been with GF, nor is he looking for one. He also doesn't help around the house. We were his last resort because no one else would take him in, not even their parents. My mom came over yesterday with the freezer bags of diced veggies for me. Bill was annoyed when he saw my mom with the veggies because that morning GF and I had spoken to him about not being so lazy and get a job because he's an adult and needs to stop relying on people like a child. GF's words, not mine. He was annoyed because he saw me as being a hypocrite because I was getting my mom to cut things for me like a child. After my mom left, he accused her of mollycoddling me and treating me like I'm incompetent. For me, this was a crossed line because this is something I physically can't do, and my mom is just being helpful. I told Bill that I wanted him to leave and that he was no longer welcome in my home. GF moved in with me to my house. GF was upset that I asked her brother to leave as I made a decision without her input and left with him. Since Bill and GF left, I have texts off him and their family accusing me of being a mummy's boy, telling me I need to cut the apron strings and cut my own vegetables like an adult. GF hasn't answered my texts. Edit. I do use frozen veggies. They are great for a lot of applications, but definitely not for fresh eating. I get some of the harder veggies like butternut squash already cut up and frozen. Though frozen onions I seem to only be able to get sliced. My local supermarket does have prepared veg in the fruit and veg department, but it honestly doesn't look great. The onion in particular is always slimy looking. I do actually need to get a new veg chopper like the slap chop or the box ones that people have suggested. My niece, 3, broke my last one trying to help me cook. My sister offered to replace it, but I told her it was an accident and she didn't need to do that. I've seen links to a couple that look better than the one I had where I might be able to cut as finely as I want, so I'm gonna order one and give it a try. Relevant comments said, you should seriously reconsider your future with this woman. Not only is she too lazy to cook, but she wants you to coddle her and her brother, yet allows her family to mock you for your disability. This is disgusting, Op. This is not something an adult, let alone a partner, does. Her family really can't say much about being spoilt when their daughter can't even cook for herself and their son is a freeloading bum who can't look after himself. Info: what chores did she do, if any? Does she work? Did she contribute to the house equally? I'm asking as the comment about her letting you cook for her irks me. Op replied with, she does work, she's got a part-time receptionist job. She does do some chores, but I've got to ask her if she'll do it. If she's washing clothes, she'll only wash hers, never mind. She does contribute towards the bills, but it's not a 50-50 split because of the difference in our incomes. She doesn't pay towards the house or house upkeep. This was on the recommendation of my dad in case we split up, because then she would be able to go after my house as she paid towards it. Someone else said, she does do some chores, but I've got to ask her if she'll do it. If she's washing clothes, she'll only wash hers, never mind. I'm sorry, what? You're talking about a fully grown woman, not a teenager. Dude, run. Your dad saw this woman for what she was ages ago. Update. So GF, well, ex-GF came around this afternoon to collect her belongings. It was very anticlimactic, but I'm not upset that she's gone because she's shown me her true colors. Though she had blamed me for it all and not apologized for her or her brother's actions, she had written a post on her FB on Saturday night basically bad-mouthing me, calling me all sorts of names and said that I was a mummy's boy and refused to cut the apron strings. I didn't see it. I don't have FB, but my sister 28F did, and she screenshot it and sent it to me. The comment section was a dumpster fire because her friends were saying things like, of course he needs help, he has one arm, and telling her that she should be helping me. She has since deleted the post. After my sister saw the post, she called our uncle to let him know what had happened, and suggested that he came around and changed my locks for me because she doesn't trust ex-GF and wanted to make sure I was safe. As ex-GF left, my uncle arrived to change the locks, which angered her. She got upset and asked if we didn't trust her. I hesitated, and my uncle smirked and said no. After XGF left, my uncle teased me about it taking so long to realize she wasn't a nice person. None of them liked her but didn't say anything because they could see I was happy. Apparently she and my sister loathed each other, as my sister was angry about the way she was treating me. I was just too enamored to see it. My sister has also sent me the number of one of her friends, Jane, 29F, and told me that Jane is waiting for me to text her for a date when I'm ready, and that this is the last time she's giving me the number of a friend. I've known Jane for years through my sister. She's lovely and I do like her. We get on incredibly well, but Jane was in a long-term relationship before I got with my ex. Jane works as a chef in a local hotel and has previously offered to help me with chopping because she's a good egg, so there's that.